Hey everyone, ready to jump into the world of Snapchat. They're doing some really interesting stuff with AI and augmented reality. I'm talking about these new AI-powered lenses. We're going to take a deep dive into that today.
Yeah, these lenses are pretty wild. Snapchat's using what they're calling an in-house built generative video model.
Oh, wow.
Basically, it's a type of AI that makes videos.
hmm
It's a pretty big step forward for how we interact with AR.
So our source for this deep dive is this article from 9 to 5 Mac, published just yesterday, March 12, 2025. And they're usually a pretty good source when it comes to Apple and its ecosystem. And of course, that includes Snapchat. Now, the article says this new tech isn't available to everyone just yet.
Right.
Only Snapchat Platinum subscribers have access for now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Makes you think, right? Like, how are they going to roll out these AI features in the future? Well, we see more of this, like, exclusivity, where the coolest new tech is only for people who pay. It's something to think about as we go through all this.
For sure. But before we get too far, let's start with the basics. What exactly are Snapchat lenses and how do they even work?
Okay, so Snapchat lenses are basically filters, but like way more advanced. They use augmented reality to put like fun interactive effects over your pictures and videos, like the dog ears or flower crowns, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've definitely wasted way too much time with those. Um, so how is AI changing things? What's different about these new lenses?
Well, with the old lenses, the effects were basically pre-programmed, like they couldn't really change or react to you. But with
Yeah.
AI, it becomes way more dynamic, way more interactive. The lenses can actually like respond to you in real time. It's a much more immersive and personalized experience.
Okay, I think I see where this is going. So what can these AI lenses actually do? Any cool examples?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The article talks about three new AI video lenses that are part of this update. The first two are called Raccoon and Fox. So picture this. You're using Snapchat, and suddenly there's a virtual raccoon or a fox right there on your screen interacting with you. Like they could reach out for a high five or maybe even play peekaboo.
Oh, that's cute. I can see how that would be way more engaging than just a static filter. What about the third lens?
The third one is called Spring Flowers. It's really pretty. It basically creates this like zoom out effect that makes it look as if you're holding this giant bouquet of flowers. And it's a good example of how they're using AI to make these really stunning and creative visual effects.
Okay, so we've got playful animal interactions and artsy flower stuff. What other kinds of experiences do you think AI could bring to Snapchat lenses in the future?
Oh man, the possibilities are kind of endless. Like imagine lenses that could transform your whole surroundings into different landscapes. Or lenses that could make like personalized avatars that actually react to your emotions. We could see lenses that tell interactive stories. I mean, who knows? Maybe even lenses that can teach you stuff.
Whoa, that's crazy. Sounds like AI could totally change how we use Snapchat and all these other social media platforms. Okay, but let's go back to the technical side for a sec. The article said that these AI videos take a while to process. How does that work for someone using the app?
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to be sitting there waiting forever for the video to load, right?
Huh.
But Snapchat's pretty smart about it. The video processes in the background, so you can still keep using the app while you wait.
Oh, that makes sense. Sounds like they've really put some thought into how to make this tech user-friendly. But I feel like this is just the beginning, right? These three lenses are just a taste of what's to come.
Exactly. The article makes it clear that this is just the first wave of these AI video lenses. Snapchat's clearly investing a lot in this tech, and they seem to have some pretty ambitious plans to roll out even more advanced stuff in the future.
So we've talked about what these AI lenses can do and how they work, but the big question is, how might this technology impact Snapchat itself and maybe even the whole social media world?
Yeah, that's where it gets really interesting. I mean, uh, on one hand, you can say that these AI lenses are just a fun gimmick, like just another way to spice up your snaps, right?
Yeah.
But I think they have the potential to be much more than that.
I agree. What are some of the bigger implications you see? Where could this lead?
Well, for one thing, I think it could lead to a whole new level of creativity and self-expression on social media. Imagine people using these lenses to create their own stories, characters, entire worlds even. It could really blur the lines between reality and what's digital in a pretty cool way.
And how do you think this might affect how we see ourselves and each other online?
That's a really good question. I think there's definitely potential for both good and bad.
Hmm.
Like on the positive side, these lenses could let people experiment with different identities, express themselves in ways they maybe wouldn't feel comfortable doing in real life. It could be a great tool for self-discovery and empowerment.
But couldn't it also make existing problems worse, like with body image and self-esteem? If everyone's using filters to create these idealized versions of themselves, it could really distort people's views of reality.
Oh, absolutely. That's a really valid concern. It's definitely something to be mindful of, like how this tech could be used to promote unrealistic beauty standards and make people feel insecure. We need to be responsible and promote a healthy balance between expressing yourself digitally and accepting yourself in the real world.
Man, there's a lot to unpack here. We've got this amazing technology with so much potential, but also some real potential downsides we can't ignore.
You hit the nail on the head. It's amazing tech, but we need to be careful, have these conversations, explore every angle. It's not about rejecting AI altogether. It's
Hmm.
about understanding it and shaping it in a way that benefits everybody.
I couldn't agree more. And that's actually a perfect place to stop for now. When we come back, we'll dive deeper into the impact of AI on social media and explore some of the ethical questions surrounding this tech. Stay tuned.
Hmm.
Welcome back. So, we've been talking about what these AI lenses can do, but I think it's time to talk about the fact that right now, only Snapchat Platinum subscribers can use them.
Yeah, you're right. A pretty interesting choice, right?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder about how accessible this kind of tech is going to be.
Yeah, definitely. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it makes sense in a way. Companies are always looking for ways to get people to pay for premium stuff. But with this, it's different,
Hmm.
because this tech could really change how we use social media, like
Yeah.
fundamentally.
Right, exactly. So, do you think this is just a temporary thing? Or could this be the start of a trend where all the best AI features are locked behind paywalls?
Hmm. It's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely possible. As AI gets more and more advanced, companies might start seeing it as something they can charge extra for, like a luxury feature.
And if that happens, how do you think it would affect social media as a whole?
Well, it could create a kind of digital divide. Like you'd have the people who can afford to pay for all the cool AI stuff, and then everyone else. They'd be having two totally different experiences.
That's kind of a scary thought, right? It could make existing inequalities even worse, like a two-tiered system where some people get left behind.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about access to features either. It's also about who gets to decide how this tech is developed. If it's all driven by companies trying to make a profit, will they actually consider what's best for everyone? Or just what's best for their bottom line?
That's a really good point. It makes you think about fairness, representation, all that stuff. Could AI actually end up being used to exclude certain groups?
Exactly. It's something we need to be really careful about.
Yeah.
We need to make sure AI is developed ethically, with inclusivity in mind. We don't want to create a world where only a select few get to benefit from this technology.
So how do we prevent that? How do we make sure AI is a force for good, something that benefits everyone?
Well, I think the first step is just talking about it, having these conversations, making sure people understand the potential impact of AI. We need to push back against the idea that AI is just a luxury item. It's a powerful tool that can improve our lives in so many ways, and we need to make sure those benefits are available to everyone.
I totally agree. We need to make sure AI is used to uplift everyone, not just a select few.
Right. And that means supporting organizations that are trying to make AI more accessible. It means holding companies accountable, making sure they're being transparent about how they're using AI and that they're using it ethically.
This conversation is just getting started, isn't it? As AI keeps evolving and becoming a bigger part of our lives, we need to stay aware and involved.
Absolutely. This is a turning point for AI, and we all have a role to play in shaping its future.
This has been a really insightful conversation. It's clear that AI has amazing potential, but there are also some serious challenges we need to address. What's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think the most important thing is to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Hmm.
It all depends on us, on the choices we make. We need to be thoughtful, responsible, and proactive in shaping AI so that it benefits all of humanity.
That's a great point. And on that note, we're going to shift gears a bit. When we come back, we're going to zoom out even further and explore the broader implications of AI for the future of technology and society as a whole. Stick with us.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive. We've talked about Snapchat's AI lenses, the impact on social media, all the ethical stuff. But now I kind of want to zoom out even more, Think bigger picture. Like, what does all this mean for the future? For tech, for society, all of it.
Yeah, it's a good point. AI isn't science fiction anymore. It's here, it's changing so fast, and it's already changing how we do pretty much everything. How we live, work, communicate.
It's everywhere, right?
Ah,
Healthcare, finance, transportation, even entertainment. It's like AI is seeping into every corner of our lives.
okay.
And it's only going to get more intense, right, as it gets more powerful.
Right. And one of the biggest things people are talking about is jobs. Like, what happens when AI can do a lot of the jobs that humans do now? Yeah, that's a big one. A lot of people are worried about that. But I've also heard that AI will create new jobs too, especially in tech, like building and maintaining AI systems, stuff like that.
Yeah, there will definitely be new jobs. But the question is, will there be enough? And will people be able to transition into those new roles? We need to be thinking about that now, investing in education and training so people have the skills they'll need for this new world.
So it's not just about jobs disappearing, it's about making sure people can adapt, learn new things, find their place in this new AI-powered world.
Exactly. And another huge impact of AI is going to be personalization. Like, think about how streaming services already recommend stuff based on what you've watched.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like how Netflix knows I have a weakness for cheesy rom-coms.
Exactly. But it goes way beyond that. AI is already personalizing the ads we see, the products we buy, everything. And as AI gets smarter, that personalization is only going to get more precise.
Which is cool in a way,
Mm.
but also kind of creepy, right? Like, how much does AI really know about me, and who controls that information?
That's the big question. We need to be careful. Like, we want the benefits of personalization, but we also need to protect our privacy. We need to demand transparency from companies about how they're using our data.
So it's about finding that balance, right,
Yeah.
between the convenience of personalization and protecting our own privacy.
Exactly. And then you got these even bigger, almost philosophical questions like, as AI gets smarter and smarter, will it ever become conscious?
Whoa, now we're getting into some deep stuff. It's like something out of a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing. And if machines do become conscious, then what? What rights would they have? What responsibilities would we have towards them?
I don't even know where to begin with that. It's like we're stepping into a whole new world, one we don't even fully understand yet.
Yeah, it's exciting and scary at the same time.
Mm.
And it all comes back to this. Technology isn't neutral. It reflects the values of the people who create it. And AI is so powerful that it could actually change how we see ourselves, how we see the world.
So what's the takeaway here? What do we want our listeners to think about after listening to all of this?
I think the most important thing is this. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make. We need to be informed, we need to be engaged, and we need to make sure AI is being used for good. For everyone.
I love that. We're not just passengers on this AI train. We have the power to choose where it goes. We can steer it towards a future that benefits all of us.
That's the goal. And the more people who are aware of that, the better chance we have of making it happen.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. It's been an incredible conversation, and we hope it's gotten you thinking about the role of AI in your own life. Until next time, stay curious.